Hmm. Looks like that's just about to start. Yep. And then I'll hit the record on here. And we can make a start. Welcome to anyone who's watching live on YouTube or is watching the replay. We're recording today, 25th of March, 2025. My name's Tony Fanfuller from eXp, and with me today is Michelle Lockwood from Michelle Lockwood Real Estate up in Hervey Bay. And Michelle, I'll start, Michelle, welcome. How long have you been with eXp?
Well, about 3.5 years now.
Okay, so fair stint. So you should have a broad knowledge of, all the systems and experience, obviously, in that time. So that's great. Um, Prior to eXp, what were you doing?
I was working for one of the local real estate agencies, so I would have been in the bigger franchises, and I wasn't like an independent, which then went to a franchise as well.
Yep. So, and how long had you been in real estate, or have you been in it now?
I've just over 9 years now.
Okay, so 9 years, you certainly, after 9 years, you nearly know what you're doing. I'm
Uh,
28 years, and I think I've nearly got it sorted.
yeah,
But we're always
yeah.
learning. What first attracted you to eXp? You were with that other agency in an employed role, I'm guessing. What
Well, I
attracted
was,
you? What was the thing?
um, well, I eventually ended up being an independent contractor to them. But what happened was they went from being like an independent agency to then being with a franchise.
Mhm.
So when they worked that out, they said, "Oh, we're going to give you more split." So I went, "Oh, good, but
Sounds
you got to
good.
pay franchise fee."
Ah,
I went, "Ah," and I'm a bit of a math head, being in finance for over 20 years. So I worked it out, and I went, "I'm actually going to be a little bit worse off. Not a lot, but I'm going to be worse off." And he went, "Oh, but my overheads, I'm going to pay." I went, "I didn't ask you to be a franchise. Uh, I'm sorry."
yeah,
So that's what I just went. And also, my clients they know me. I've been around in this area for over 20 years, and they just said, "Oh, who are you working for now?" I went, "Oh, well, I'm not getting any benefit from being under that banner. People are coming to me because of me. They know me." So I thought, why am I giving them so much and getting so little in return?
yeah. And it's interesting. That's a little bit of an interesting background where the independent went to a franchise, and then you identified you were a bit worse off. And they didn't even really realize that, but wanted to go to a franchise. Well, hopefully to get the things that franchises. Did you stay there long after it was a franchise?
No, probably 3 months.
Okay, so what we do find and hear a lot of with franchises is there's a lot of promise and not very much deliver. Um, so that's something I hear a lot all the time. But in that time, you're sort of looking at other things to do. What was it that attracted you to eXp?
I think the freedom and having that admin support with the trust accounting and things like that. And I was a bit dubious starting off, going, "Oh, let's see, when the honeymoon's over, is it still going to be the same?" Because I've had that in the when they went to the franchise, they promised the world, and then as soon as they hooked you up, that was it. So I thought, oh yeah, but I had a really great sponsor in Lisa B, who was very supportive and communicated lots to me. So yeah, I was pleasantly surprised that the honeymoon didn't end. I have had so much support from admin. You don't feel like you're doing it alone, which is good because sometimes you sort of feel like you're doing everything by yourself. But it's just great, the information, the training, the access to so many things. I mean, it's just technology, and that's always advancing. And eXp have been right on top of it, giving us new programs and researching and finding what's best for us. So definitely for the real estate agent as opposed to themselves.
It's funny, there's been no less than 3 astounding programs come across my desk today. That everything we seem to see with this AI is life-changing, and I've seen some amazing things just today. So we, as a company, I suppose, keep researching that so that we can share it with you when we've, got it sussed and got some training organised. But we look forward to those things every time. You mentioned just your lifestyle change. In the past you were 9 to 5, you were lucky, probably 8 till 6 in some cases, 6 days a week and more, like myself, in the office. So what changed from that life to life now?
I answer to myself. I don't answer to a boss. So with my clients, I can be flexible in what I do. I don't have to go and ask for permission for things or anything like that. I work out what's best for my clients, and then they have that decision to make. So I can be flexible with my clients, and I can be flexible with my life. Like if I need to block out certain things for family or events, I can do that. So I don't have to feel like, they're thinking you're not getting their 100%,
Yep.
of me. So yeah, that's why I like.
Yeah, and even sitting in an office, whilst you might be sitting in an office 50 hours, you're not giving that client 50 hours of work. It's spread to other things and prospecting and different things. But it's the same we experience. So long as that client's getting everything you know to do, then you're doing your job for them. That's fantastic. You mentioned just your admin support and things like that, and you had reservations about the support as to whether it'd drop off or not. And I know we've probably had people in the 3.5 years you've been with us, people come and go in those support areas, like myself, who came about 18 months ago. What's been, I suppose, the most significant thing about the support that you noticed and you still feel ongoing?
I feel that you can always sort of contact someone or email someone, and they're happy to help. They can ring you. It doesn't matter. When you sort of contact them, they're very efficient in getting back to you if there's an issue, and they look into it. Sometimes I think it's just me and my not being so technical. And I often say, is it just me, or is this something that's happening across the board? And they go, no, no, we know about it. It'll be fixed soon.
Yeah.
Getting that. So I don't have to deal with like fixing stuff like that. So
Yeah.
I don't want to be fixing stuff like that.
Yeah, like with any tech problem, if you're having it, you can guarantee someone else is having it. That's for sure. That's quite common. Um, in the that support area, it's way I feel and hear people feel like you're still running your own business, but it's like you've got an office back there that exists in the cloud, as we call it, but does everything that you feel it needs to. Do you think there's any gaps in the support that need to be added to, or anything like that, that would have you more feeling like you've got all of that traditional support if you were sitting in an office? Is there anything that's a gap?
No, I actually probably think I get more support now. Principals are always very elusive, and they're not interested in giving you much assistance. They just want you to sell the property so they can get, half your commission or 40% of your commission. So
Yep.
I definitely feel that they're a lot more reachable, and yeah, they're nothing's a stupid question. They're always quite helpful and make sure that you get the result that you want and
Yep.
resolve any issues that you have. So I find it really easy. It's like I've got a whole office in here, but
Yep.
of people, but we're not physically here.
Yep. And how do you go with we're all on our own in our own home offices and things like that. How do you go with not having that office colleagues or people that are there and with you in a traditional sense? How does that work for you? How does that make you feel?
I actually have a lot of good friends who are agents locally, so I keep in contact with them. I've also got some other eXp agents in the area as well, and we work well together, and we support each other. So, if one's sick or something like that, we go, look, we'll cover you for that. Just call, we're here to support. So we help support each other because we all want to be all independent, but we still have support on the ground as well as in the cloud-based admin side of things as well that aren't physically here. So it works really well here.
Yeah, that's fantastic. It's certainly something that the collaboration that happens between agents, even agents that are interstate and things, we see on the work chats. It's good to see people helping each other. As if I think for me, it was sort of an astounding thing that it felt like there was more collaborative in our cloud environment than it was sitting in the office in some cases. Yeah, I think in the office you feel almost like you're competing with the person in the next cubicle. Whereas I certainly feel like we're all supporting each other and all we want to see is each other succeed. Whereas it's probably not the same feeling in the office.
No, definitely not.
And so you've mentioned everything except the money really. But how does the commission split and the cap and things like that impact you and how's that been?
I've capped every year that I've been with eXp. And when I worked out my figures for when I first came over, I'm a bit of a figures girl, and I wanted to make sure, it was as good as what it sounded. And I worked it out, and I actually made an extra $100,000 by going with eXp. If I'd done those same deals where I was, I would have given them $100,000.
Yeah. Do you think this is a little bit of an unknown? Do you think you'd do more deals if you were sitting in an office down at Joe Blogg's Realty with the franchise logo out the front, or do you think your deals are about the same? How do what do you think happens in your world on that basis?
Well, I don't need to work as hard if I don't want to get the same amount of money.
Yes.
So it enables me to get that work-life balance a lot better. If I want to do more deals, I can do them. I can do more deals. If I'm quite comfortable with what's coming in, I don't have to, burn myself out. I'm not getting any younger, so I can balance it out a lot better.
Yeah, look, certainly it's one of those things where agents can choose to make more money or get more time. It's your choice, I suppose. We mentioned the cap and the commission split, and I'll just quickly, for anyone that's watching wants to know what the details are. So we have a 75-25 split to the agent up to $100,000 of GCI in their calendar year or their anniversary year, and then 100% to the agent after that until they've reached the end of their anniversary year. So that's the split, 75 and then 100. So the maximum commission that eXp takes from the agent's 25,000, and there's a monthly subscription fee of $250 plus GST per month for our agents. How does that go for you as a value? $250 for the model for you?
I actually, I hope they don't work it out because I think I've got a really good deal there with all the subscriptions and everything that I get and the support and the training. Like, it's just cheap. It's like, I'm hoping you don't work out how cheap the value that I get is just astronomical. So don't change it, please.
No, we're not about to touch it. We have worked it out. We do not look. It's not my model. It's not your model. It's the model that came from originally the USA and filtered throughout the world. And whilst there's been little tweaks in different countries as to what they may pay for monthly fees and where the cap is and things like that, depending on it all relates back to US dollar currency, which is why there's different caps everywhere in different countries. But for Australia, it's 100,000. And the $250, we certainly know that I think you can, if you add it up, depending on what sort of value, even if you don't put value in support and training, I think if you add it up, you get over $1,000 of subscriptions for the $250, and you've obviously got support for them and everything like that. So and I don't know the answer to this, but have you done any referral or conjunctional deals outside of those few agents that you work with in Hervey Bay?
Oh, absolutely. I have sent a referral down for a sale down in Brisbane, which an eXp agent has dealt with for me, and I got a percentage from that. I've currently got a listing up here with Gold Coast agents who have a client that moved up here from the Gold Coast. From that, we're doing one listing together, and we've got another one to come up on board. I've also referred people from here who are going to certain areas or have property in other areas, out west in Toowoomba and everything like that. I do that all the time, and it's
Right.
it makes it good for people because they realise that I have a wide spread and contacts around Australia, so it's really important. They like to stick with what they know.
Yeah, and you've obviously worked out what the referral deal is between you and that other agent, which for our eXp agents is up to them to work out. The company has no input as to what the splits should be. It really depends on the two agents involved to come up with what they feel's fair for each other. And I'm sure you do that each time with those other agents. And that obviously opens the fact that we are a large community in Australia. The interaction you have with other agents, apart from those few, I mean, I know Michelle, just for those watching, she is the chair or the head of the AAC in Australia, the Agents Advisory Council. So comes into contact with agents all over Australia and looking at whatever their roadblocks or frustrations may be, and sort of liaises with the corporate side of it to try and improve anything. So you've got a wide community or a wide network of eXp agents. How do you find that they all receive the company and work with the company in the position that you take?
Yeah, I think everyone works really well with it, and everyone likes to help each other with it. In our meetings and with our work chats and stuff like that. I'll often reach out and say, "Is anyone in this area? I've got someone who looking to buy, who's looking to go down there." Even I've had some people who are like, "I've got someone down there who wants to sell down in that area," and yeah, I link them up together, and I think everyone works really well together in that respect. And yeah, it just makes it, it's not just me and my little office at home sort of thing. It's open Australia wide, really.
Yeah, oh, that's good. And thinking about agents that might be like yourself out looking, what do you think of the sort of what kind of agent is the best to join eXp? Is there a particular type you think is ideal, or types?
Well, I think you need to have done your apprenticeship, so you need to know the industry in Queensland, sort of thing. I'm in Queensland, but I only speak for Queensland. But yeah, I think once you've done your apprenticeship and you know how to do it, and you'll find that your circle are coming to you because of you. You sort of got to look at that and what you're giving away in your commission and what value you're getting back. And for me, it was such an easy thing to see that I was not getting that value back at all. Um, you know, to try and tell me that, well, I've got to pay more money. That's not my decision. I didn't tell you to go do that. So it wasn't my business. And that's their business, and that was their choice. But I had my choice whether to stay or go, and I chose to go, and I haven't looked back. I think it's been the best thing I've done. I've been able to, do renovations to the house, buy a bigger boat, do those sort of things as I'm sort of, getting more money in.
Yeah. Oh, that's fantastic. And for someone that's sitting on the fence, unsure, what would you say to them?
I've been there. I thought about it years before I did it, and just went, "Oh, that's big and scary." I don't know. Just didn't have that confidence in myself in this sort of role in real estate. And I thought, oh, hang on a minute, don't be so hard on yourself. Have a look, and then I just went, I'm going to do it. Like I just went, when I make a decision, that's it. I thought, well, here I go. I'm all in. I'm going to do this.
Yep.
And I did it, and it was exciting and scary and everything all at once. But the support was absolutely amazing that I received, and nothing was too hard. And it just made it feel very, it just was a smooth transition. And always had someone there to support me if I had any questions or doubts or anything. But yeah, just got set up on all the systems, doing the subscriptions, and it was just fantastic. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's scary, but most things are. You're looking at the next
Uh,
life adventure, and yeah, don't you won't look back once you do it for yourself.
Yeah, look, I think anyone that's going into their own business, whatever industry they're in, it's a scary step when you step away from being the employee into being the employer or business owner. It is a scary step, but the all of the growth in life is by taking those steps, I think. Um, what do you think agents that are out there looking at us and looking at different things and what they're going to do, what do you think is, would you think that is least understood, or would you hope that they understand more about eXp?
Um, I'd like to think they do, but probably a lot haven't done the research. We are relatively young company in Australia, and it's just a different structure to the ones because I did speak to some others when I was going out on my own, and it is definitely a different structure and different setup. The agents have they're often coming to the agents, that's why they have like the AAC. I said that's unheard of. You know, I've been in corporate businesses, and it's like they don't care what the agents do. But these ones are after that feedback of the ones on the ground because they're the ones who are at the coal face and they're the ones who can pick up any issues with certain things, and they're prepared to listen and work with the agent to get the best outcome for both corporate as well as the agent, so it makes it a smooth transition, and also provide any training for anything that's changed as well. There's always that support there. So I think definitely different to any other, and I've been in corporate and franchises, and definitely unique, this style,
Yeah,
this setup.
certainly when I joined, and you read the words, the most agent-centric real estate brokerage in the planet, and it's sort of a strange statement because as an employee, what do you mean agent-centric? Most companies, it's all about the vendor, the seller, the client. And for eXp, we're in a little bit different step in the structure of the whole real estate world, that where you're our client, the agent, rather than the vendor. So it takes a different little bit of a mindset, certainly for me, as to how eXp works. But certainly it's different and it's refreshing, and I think that's probably the thought or the words that build most of the collaboration and the community that we have, is just that's how we are. We're agent centric. What do you see
Absolutely.
as the future? What's next for you and for eXp, and what would we do to be a partner in your next piece of growth?
Well, I'm looking to set myself up for as I get older, and I want to semi-retire and that. So there's different income streams that I've looked at within eXp, which is also attracted me as well. I don't have to be so-called on the tools all the time. There are other options. I do, we get bonuses in shares, plus I have a percentage go across in shares out of my commission, which is my choice just to build something up for the future. I also, we've got ability to look at, getting a rent roll, building up a rent roll asset that I can sell off and, cruise around the Caribbean after I retire, sort of thing. So,
Yep.
yeah, there's so much there, and it's up to the individual what they want to do. And my part where I am in my life at the moment, I'm looking to give myself choices as I get older to whether I want to keep working um, as hard, or if I want to sort of step back and do it more of a part-time sort of thing, but still have that income coming in, and assets building for later in life.
You've touched on about half a dozen different things there that we hadn't mentioned. We don't always mention because they're different conversations, different things come up. One of the things you mentioned there that's available is that you salary sacrifice, if you like, or invest in the equity of the company out of part of your commission. So as agents, we all have the option to invest 5% of our commission and have it held back as shares. We get a 5% discount on the shares. So if they're $10, we get them for $9.50. And we get 5% of our commission go to that. We can turn that off and turn it on as we choose over time, but it is something that I know a lot of agents, as you are saying, Michelle, take advantage of. The other thing, and some of the things that do happen, the rewards, again, in share rewards for first sale, capping, and we haven't talked about revenue share, and I don't know if you've got anyone you've sponsored, but that's something else that then comes into the, do you have sponsees?
Yeah, I have two. One has left the industry now, but I have got another one here.
Yep.
So yeah, we work together and keep in contact. So that's just an added bonus, really. So
Yeah, it is an added, but so again, the revenue share model, like there's quite a lot of content online about it, but basically everyone that joins eXp is sponsored into the company. There's no obligation on the sponsor to do any sort of training or support or work together or anything like that. Indeed, a lot of our agents are sponsored by international agents and overseas, interstate, wherever they may be. But as a sponsor, you're rewarded with a percentage of the company's profit through revenue share, as that sponsored agent writes commission up to their cap. After the cap, you can't earn anything because the company doesn't earn anything. The agent's got 100%, but it does filter down through the sponsorship levels, and just another way to earn a passive income, if you like. Although, as you know, Michelle, having the conversation with the agent, following them up, getting them all the answers, and then they eventually joining and then writing deals is a long process. And I had 2 long conversations today with people, and yeah, it's the start of a story. And but when they do join, there's certainly that reward for you, and it's a bit like, we liken it a lot to, it's a bit like meeting a vendor at an appraisal for the first time, and they may not sell for 2 years, but it's a follow-up process, and the normal information that we give vendors is exactly the same type of conversations, just information and support, and you're getting the benefits. And if that's something that you'd like to do more of, I'm sure you'll look at expanding your sponsored agents over time.
yeah, so there's lots of different choices, and it's your business. You do it the way you want to do it. You go into as many of these things that you want, or if you just want to just do what you were doing before and just sell real estate, you can just do that and
Yeah.
get rewarded better for it.
Yeah. And property management, you mentioned, which again, not directly with eXp, we don't do property management, but a lot of our agents, as Michelle does, can build their own rent rolls, and reap that future reward of income from that. So well done on doing that.
So I try a
The
few different things.
pardon me.
I just try a few different things. Like, don't put all my
Yeah.
eggs in one basket.
No, well, you've got to spread the love, and it sounds like you're doing a great job, and your life's very varied and very interesting, given you've got so many of those things going on.
Yeah, it is interesting, definitely.
Cool. Well, thank you, Michelle. I hope the questions weren't too hard. I told you you'd know the answers without me having to tell you the questions in advance. The key things I get are, there's a financial upside, that's no question. You've got the flexibility and the support, and you're able to grow in many different directions, and you do feel like it's your own business. Would that be a summary?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Awesome. Well, thanks, Michelle Lockwood from Michelle Lockwood Real Estate up in Hervey Bay. If anyone would like to contact Michelle directly and ask about eXp, or perhaps list your house for sale, but certainly Michelle will help you with any questions about eXp. What's your phone number, Michelle?
0409 618 700.
Awesome. Thank you for attending and being with us today, and look forward to talking with you again very soon.
Thanks, Tony.
Good on you. Thanks, Michelle. Thanks for doing that. Wonderful. Love it.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.